Welcome to NYNJPA Weather, your severe weather source for the Northern Mid-Atlantic. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. We're going to start with the visible satellite picture from 10 a.m. And as you can see, high pressure over the eastern Great Lakes is firmly in control throughout much of the Northern Mid-Atlantic. Now, there is a weak disturbance that is dropping south through New England that could produce an isolated shower or thunderstorm over parts of central and eastern Connecticut and eastern Long Island. However, I stress the word isolated here. I really don't think much of anything is going to develop, especially with the strong substance over the region. Meanwhile, with all these clear skies, temperatures are going to be much warmer than what we saw yesterday. Yesterday we struggled to touch 70 degrees. Today we'll be in the lower to mid 80s for much of the northern Mid-Atlantic, with the exception of Long Island, where temperatures will be held down into the upper 70s to lower 80s. Otherwise, an excellent day of weather is expected with low humidity and very comfortable temperatures. The water vapor satellite picture this morning clearly shows an upper level low sitting over the Gulf of Maine, moving into the Canadian Maritimes. And that means the northern Mid-Atlantic is on the western side of the upper level low. Now, when you're on the western side of the upper level low, what you have typically is sinking air, which is basically what this black and red is over much of the Mid-Atlantic, cutting back into the eastern Great Lakes, which of course enhances our surface high pressure system. Now, you can see a few of the disturbances I was discussing about for central and eastern Connecticut and eastern Long Island are dropping south, but they are weakening in this convergent flow aloft. So I really don't expect much in the way of thunderstorms this afternoon over Connecticut, although there is an isolated potential. Now, the main story that we're going to be dealing with for the end of this week and into the weekend is the return of a little bit more humidity and warmer temperatures. However, the heat wave that will develop over the southeast will stay over the southeast and not approach the northern Mid-Atlantic. This stationary front over the southeast, cutting back into the Mississippi River Valley, will slowly move to the northeast and move through the northern Mid-Atlantic on Friday as one area low pressure cuts towards the Canadian Maritimes and another area low pressure develops over the southern plains. So let's take a look at our latest model guidance. This is the GFS model for Friday afternoon, courtesy of the Penn State E-Wall. And as you can see, we have an area low pressure along the New Jersey coast. This is a weak area of low pressure. It's not very formidable and will not produce a great deal of rainfall, but will keep the threat of scattered showers in the forecast for late Thursday night, looking around 10 to 11 p.m. on through early Friday afternoon. Once this low pressure system exits, so does the rain. And it looks like that the low pressure system will be off the New Jersey coast and exiting by 6 p.m. on Friday. So if you have any plans Friday evening, don't cancel them. Take an umbrella with you for a short 30-40 minute shower. But overall, it will not be a bad day on Friday. Some variable clouds, a few scattered showers, but not a washout. The next area of low pressure that we're going to keep an eye on is the one over the southern plains. Not because it's going to cut up to the northwest, but it's because it's going to remain suppressed to the south. So again, for Friday, a few scattered showers, and then everything clears out. But what about the weekend? Well, let's take a look at the next model guidance. For this weekend and into much of next week, we're going to set up a pattern where a ridge is going to develop over the eastern United States with a ridge axis over the central Great Lakes. Why is this important? Two reasons. One, this type of pattern produces a northwesterly convergent flow over the northern Mid-Atlantic and eastern Great Lakes. So that means that this high pressure system that's going to be sitting over Lake Ontario is pretty much going to lock in place and keep the northern Mid-Atlantic dry from Saturday all the way on through Wednesday. So if you have plans this weekend, looks like it's going to be excellent for outdoor activities. More importantly though, to the south of this stationary front is a very hot and humid air mass. But because of the northwesterly flow on the backside of this upper level low setting up well to the north over the Canadian Maritimes and the ridge axis setting up over the Great Lakes, that hot and humid air mass is not able to drive into the northern mid-Atlantic. So we'll have scattered showers and thunderstorms driving south from the Ohio Valley towards the southern mid-Atlantic, but they will remain south of the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. So overall, a great weekend is in store, and this pattern remains in place at least through middle of the week before this ridge really starts to build and drive up the East Coast, and that's when I think our next shot of very hot and humid air will move into the northern mid-Atlantic. Otherwise, expect temperatures in the 80s. Humidity is going to be a little bit higher, but not oppressive. Looking at dew points in the 60s, so you'll feel some of the humidity, but it will not be oppressive like what we saw with our last heat wave. And temperatures again will be in the mid to upper 80s with lows in the 60s. Overall, not too bad for this time of year. As far as rainfall, again, everything will remain suppressed to the south. So it looks like we're looking at a great weekend and a great start to next week. Thank you for trusting in NYNJPA Weather, your severe weather source for the northern mid-Atlantic. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. Have an excellent day.